Body dysmorphia is not just a woman's disorder, and I'm tired of us acting like it is. A lot of men have body dysmorphia. Your gym bros, your gym rats. I'm at it 365 days out of the year. That obsession, that fixation with being at a certain BMI oftentimes doesn't come from a place of pride or discipline, as we say socially, just because we like the results and we call it attractive. Oftentimes that type of obsession and fixation comes from a place of deep-seated insecurity. Like whenever their numbers are off, even though they're in a healthy rate, and the doctor will be like, you're in prime physical conditions. Whenever numbers are off or they eat over calories, it causes anxiety, depression, feelings of despair, and deep internal disturbance. That's not healthy. That's body dysmorphia. It's body dysmorphia. So even though the society finds the results of it attractive, it doesn't always come from a healthy place, oftentimes with men.
A 2014 study found that 53% of men worry about their appearance weekly, often more than their career, family, and health. In honor of Men's Health Month, let's address this issue. Negative body image occurs when you feel ashamed or self-conscious about your appearance. The media often amplifies these issues, making men compare themselves to unrealistic standards.
But guys, if you're feeling this way, that's a psychological issue called body dysmorphia. Then there's body shame. Now, women deal with this a lot, but men also deal with it. They just don't talk about it. Men worry about not being big enough, being too fat, not having a big enough chest, big enough arms, big enough dick, whatever it may be, not being good enough in bed, not looking good enough in bed. This is all body shame that goes along with men. And it's not a topic that you hear much about because men just repress it.
I was talking to a woman the other day about men's mental health in relations to body image issues. This woman and I both agree that it's sad that not a lot of people are aware of men's body image issues. Like for me personally, I've had women tell me, oh my gosh, you're so lucky you're a man, you don't gotta deal with body image issues. We could both agree on the fact that that's messed up, but one thing she was saying is like, oh, women should be more cautious and more cognitive of that fact. I agree, but it's hard to be aware of something people are whispering about, or even aware of something that people are not aware about themselves. I've talked to a lot of men that don't even know how to label their body image issues, let alone talk about them. You know what I'm saying?
Men actually struggle with body image too, and no one ever talks about it. The changing of used to feeling strong or how attractive you were, maybe now it just feels unfamiliar. Maybe a gut or the dad bod, disappearing hairline, slower everything, things not working as well. You know, they're not necessarily told to care about their appearance as much because then it may not be masculine, and then maybe you get teased for being too feminine, and it just brings you further and further from intimacy and their own confidence. And so here's what I know. You cannot be fully present in a sexual experience when you are at war with your body. That's true for women, and it's just as true for men.
Not having the right body. Now you might be thinking, yeah, right, men don't obsess about not having a good body, right? That's what women do. Well, you'd be surprised. This is something that I've had insecurities about from time to time. And the research shows that this is absolutely the case. Men do have fears around not having the right body, not being tall enough, not being broad enough, not being skinny enough, not being large enough, not being too hairy, not being hairy enough, having the wrong jawline, right? These are the insecurities that men have as well. Now, women are generally more vocal than men at this, but it doesn't mean it's not going on in a man's mind.
Men are expected to act like body image pressure belongs to somebody else. Like it only really lives in women, influencers, or insecure people who care too much. But plenty of men are carrying that pressure too. They just hide it inside gym culture, self-improvement, jokes, silence. A lot of them are not only chasing fitness, they are chasing relief. Relief from feeling physically overlooked and impressive. Or not quite enough in a world that reads male bodies as status before a word is even spoken.
If all I look at all day are pictures of perfect male bodies, my brain doesn't realize that I'm looking at a rare male body. It thinks that that's common. So then I'm going to look at myself without realizing it and judge myself based off of that ideal, which in the real world, you know, guys with six-pack abs are rarer than millionaires, right?
I believe physique inflation from Hollywood and on social media over the years is seriously impacting young men's mental health, and it simply isn't spoken about enough. This is considered an ideal male physique in 2025, and this was considered an ideal male physique in the early 2000s. Hollywood portrays these questionably natural superhero physiques to young and impressionable men, and the actors do press runs claiming that they achieved their body through diet and hard training, giving these young men a false ideal to strive for. I even remember myself when I first got into the gym telling all my friends that after a few months I want to look like Thor. Not far off. This can lead to young males developing more serious illnesses such as depression, as they're unhappy with their own bodies and develop body dysmorphia, which can then start to impact their physical health as they resort to taking steroids. On social media, many enhanced lifters are glorified, and even if they're honest about their steroid use, they don't necessarily emphasize the very serious and likely adverse health effects. A report in 2017 found a 300% increase in anabolic steroid use among young 16 to 24-year-old males, showing that this is a growing issue that will seriously affect these young men's health long term.
Instagram bodies and real life bodies are two very different things. You don't need to look like an Instagram influencer in order to live a fulfilling and happy life. I'm an individual that doesn't have a rippling six-pack. I have a little bit of overhang from my shorts. I would have what I would consider a pretty mid-tier rig, but I'm incredibly strong. I'm incredibly fit. I compete in physical sports often, and I live a very happy and fulfilling life.
The reason why so many guys hate their bodies is they spend all day on social media, and on social media, you see the top 0.1% of physiques on the planet. Now, not only have these guys had many years of training experience, they also have the top percentile of genetics in the world. And a lot of them also take steroids, but they'll never tell you that. And the reality of social media is everyone looks way better on camera and on videos than they do in the real world because they have time to get the perfect shots and the best lighting with the pump, etc. So it's really important to understand that your genetics play a huge factor in how fast you'll progress in the gym. I've been training for 7 years straight now, and there's guys that have trained for 1 year and they look way better than me. And this is purely because they have amazing genetics, but I don't let it affect my mindset, because if me 7 years ago could see how far I've come today, he'd be really happy.
Jim, let me do this. Hey guys, I absolutely hate my physique, and it's for literally one reason. So you see, one, I suffer with this thing called body dysmorphia. I absolutely have always my entire life hated the way that I looked. And I was like, oh, let me get in the gym. Let me do this. Let me do that. It'll help, right? And it did. Like, my shoulders are like much bigger. Everything's much bigger in terms of where I was. I used to have a really, 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 really tiny chest. And I have like overdeveloped top ab muscle. So they used to poke out. So I fixed that. But now, here's my biggest problem. I'm pretty sure I have narrow clavicles. This right here, it doesn't matter how little calories I eat, my calorie deficit, it just doesn't want to go away.
People keep missing that part. Men are not outside body image culture. They are just expected to carry their version of it quietly and make it look respectable. So the pressure gets renamed, buried, and pushed into habits people praise instead of question. But silence does not make it smaller. It just makes it lonelier. Do you think men are less affected by body image pressure, or just allowed to talk about it honestly? Say what you honestly think in the comments, and stay with the ugly truth for more conversations about the pressure people are trained to carry without naming.